Hey guys, welcome.
Hi.
Hello. Uh, somebody just I can't even. Did you just request to speak? I saw you come up just now and then it left. Oh, that's it. All right, good. Okay. Welcome everybody. Hey, what's going on? How's your Thursday going?
Hi.
Uh, we've got about 3 people now. Okay, cool. Maybe that you can start a recording if you haven't. I mean, all right. Uh. Oh, can we wait till like about 5 in the audience? How's everybody doing? What's going on? Just like always, the chat is your friend. You can request the mic. And this is another AMA, just like the first one we did, where you get to ask questions, you get to start up conversations. So just ask about, it doesn't have to be about super tokens, really just, something relevant, something in context. We just want to see the faces of people in our community, converse with them. That's majorly the goal of this. I think I'm just seeing Inotori. The last AMA you were not. I think I did not notice their name on this space. Welcome to the event. And you probably have seen these guys in the chats, and this might be the first time you're seeing their faces in the community right here, right here. We've got Dakor, and Dakor is the head of Devrel at SuperTokens. And then we've got Rishab. Rishab is the CTO. And if you've asked any question in the support um, category, the support questions, you definitely would have interacted with him. All right, it's nice to see everybody. Are people dropping off? Where is
Well, some people
everybody?
are dropping off. It's sort of fairly random, it seems.
Yeah,
I guess people just want to check
yeah,
out because they're not and then be like, ah.
yes. They just, I think, I can't even. I know that you joined the conversation last time, so I would really love to have you. Um, I would love to invite you to speak. I feel like I really enjoyed your energy the last time. So in case you are willing, you can request for the mic. We're glad to give that to you. Okay. So just like the last time.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
thank
think,
you, brother. I think you. Yo, what's up?
Hey guys, hey.
I
maybe
hello.
maybe
Yo,
people are
what's up,
shy.
man?
Maybe, yeah, so I'll probably start
Nah.
the conversation. Um, yeah, I actually have a question about the super tokens, and believe it or not, uh, question about roadmap because I saw that you guys have quite a quite extensive roadmap, right, on the website. How is this being decided? What's the how do you guys decide basically on the next steps for the product for the roadmap? Who is being in decisions, who's making those? Is it like internally? Do you like scan through Discord through forums and then you discuss it internally, or what's the process?
yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it's a bunch of things. One is people asking for features on Discord. Then it's stuff like we get on sales calls with folks as well, depending on who sort of shows interest. Like we have this link on our website where people can book calls with us, and then many times they ask for features which we don't have, and if a feature comes up often, then we add that to the roadmap, and so we have like a bunch of features that we need to make based on this, and then we prioritize based on like how much time it's going to take, and what are sort of the things that are needed to build that out, and how many people in our team are sort of available to do that. Yeah, so it's a bunch of things like that. The product roadmap you see on the website is not like fully up to date. Um, so yeah, there are like a bunch of stuff we're also working on that's not mentioned there. Um, but roughly, yeah, that's kind of how we do it.
Is it the one that is on the website? Is it like dynamic? Is it being fetched somewhere, or is it like just hard coded in a project documentation somewhere?
Yeah, we just stick it in a database and it loads what's in the database.
Hmm.
Sometimes you forget to update the database. uh, but we try. Yeah. I'm quite actually. Let me see the. I haven't seen that page since a while. Yeah, OAuth2 is something we're working on. Login with passkey is something we're going to start working on soon. Um, Bot detection and spam detection, that's something we're working on right now as well. Breach password detection is something we're working on as well. Um, yeah, and updating our Python SDK, that's like the other thing we're working on. But
Oh, that's vaguely up to date.
yeah, it's sort of up to date. Yeah, not
Yeah.
fully. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'll see.
Something wrong went over my camera, so I might need to turn off my cam for a while. I think it's just icon living in this AMA, so it's like where's every other person? They left. Okay. So icon living, thank you for starting the conversation. I don't know if Daco want to say something to that,
No, I
or
wanted to
we
say
just
that I'm like the latest addition to this AMA, so I might be the problem. If I drop off, maybe some people would join instead, so I don't know.
Uh, no. I think. How did you announce? Did you like?
no.
Yeah, I think you haven't put like everyone, right? That maybe is the difference because last week and last you put you tagged everyone, and this time you didn't. So maybe people just didn't notice, you know.
Yes,
Um,
is it because of someone mentioned that they don't like to be tagged because of
yeah,
this? Yeah.
yeah. Someone did, yeah, and that's fair. I understand that it can be quite frustrating if you're like part of many Discord servers and everyone just pinging all the time, and you know, so I respect that as well. We probably have to come up with like a different way of
Yeah.
announcing these events, maybe like on our website, like on the landing page, could be one like a thin like a banner or something, or you know
Yeah,
emails and
documentation
then
should be.
yeah, um, documentation, yeah, that's also a good idea. So stuff that people go to anyway, um, maybe those would be good places to like advertise these things instead of just the general channel.
Yeah, yeah. I would definitely suggest the documentation because I don't think anyone, but not a lot of people go to landing page on a day-to-day basis. There's not much to see, but documentation for sure, and the GitHub issues probably. You could stick one, maybe like a sticky one on top that never goes away, something like
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Thanks for the thanks for that. And Daco, I see that you've been posting videos about our web components integration. Uh, how is that? Is that something that happens every week, right? Like there's a new video released every week.
Yeah, it used to be about web components for the most part, but now it's about a bunch of different stuff. I did a Solid.js integration, and next week I'm currently working on that
Mm-hmm.
one. There is like an OIDC thing running with Solid.js, and then I plan on like sort of rotating to other frameworks as well. I'll certainly do a React one at some point, but like
Yeah,
I try
that
to
would be.
like
I've actually changed like the way we done Vue on Angular. I have figured out a way. No, well, not figured it out, but like changed how we tell people to do it. I'm in the process of doing that. Basically, earlier we used to tell people to like inject React into the Vue and Angular app, right? Which nobody really wants to do because that sucks. We're forcing people to use React. But now, like, I have like a bundled version of the React SDK, uh, which like you can inject in like a div, like whatever div you want, with a specific ID, and it sort of renders the entire pre-built UI in that, based on the current URL. So in that way, we can tell people who use non-React frameworks, even stuff like SvelteKit or Index, like just plain HTML, and JS, like to use our bundled version of the SDK, and they'll get the pre-built UI without having to worry about React and stuff like that. So that's much better, and I can actually share a link that kind of shows you how that will work.
Cool.
So maybe that's something might affect your videos, Daco. Um,
Well, right now I'm actually doing custom UI
I
exclusively, so like, yeah, I'll probably do something about these too because like this is really cool. Like, I really
yeah,
sort
so
this
of.
looks like something that we can have like a workshop on, like
we
showing
can,
it
yeah,
like we did the Next.js version. Yeah,
yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm in the middle of
because
updating the
most
docs,
of the
so I'm going to update the docs
okay.
first, which I'm in the middle of doing, and then we can have like a workshop about this. But yeah, as you can see in the README, it's pretty simple. You just like load the script from a CDN, and you call SuperTokens in it with your configuration, and it basically loads the pre-built UI in that div. That's it. You know.
One
Uh,
question on this: How did we figure? Are we doing anything about CSS over there? Can we customize the look and feel of the whole
yeah,
thing?
yeah. You can put any. The only thing you can do all the customizations you want, except for React component override. That's the only thing you can't do here.
Mm-hmm.
But you can do CSS, colors, like override, function overrides, all of those things. The only thing you can't do is React component override. That's it.
All
But
right,
everything
that's
else is
actually
possible.
pretty cool because like it basically takes you like 99% of the way there. Like the only
Yeah,
possible like thing that it might not do is like SPAs because you have to. The way I understand is you have to do a full page
yeah.
reload for this, right?
Yeah, you'll have to do a full page reload for this to work. Yeah. So if you click on like forgot password, it does a full page reload to
Mm-hmm.
take you there.
No, but
But I
that's
think
cool.
that can be fixed here as well, because you can give like your own window handler to this, and then in that you have hooks where you can give like where people can override the like set href uh, function, which can then call your router. So it's possible. Um, yeah.
So if you hack around with the default window navigation, essentially you can hook into your own router in theory and like sort of emulate the similar experience all in all, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Cool. That's pretty cool. Like I actually
So
loved this solution when you first presented it on Slack and when we discussed it. So it's significantly easier to pull off considering our stack, our current stack, and like yeah, this was a great solution to be honest.
yeah, so this is for non-Angular, non-React folks. And this allows, yeah. Like the only downside here is that if you want to add like a logo on the sign-in page, for example, the only way to do that right now is through React component override, um, which is not allowed here. But we can probably figure that out somehow in the future. But yeah, for now, I think this is like a good enough thing.
Ah, pretty good. Cool.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's quite heavy, heavy script to include 1.2
Yeah.
megabytes.
Oh no, this should be the the production version, which is about 200 KB. Uh,
I
I'm not
just
sure
I just
why.
took the one from README.
Yeah, I think that's supposed to be 200 something KB. I'm not sure why you're saying 1.2 MB. Like the
I think it's
development
not
one,
minimized.
yeah, the development one is 1.2 MB, not the production one. That's weird. Because if you go to like the build folder in the repo, static JS, and download the JS from there. The size of that file is 200 something. Um, I think so. Let me just see. No, it's 1.2 MB. That's weird. I'm not sure why that's 1.2 MB. But yeah, I'll probably figure that out. Thanks
Good catch.
for pointing that out. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's strange. But yeah, that's one of the other downsides to this, which is it adds all the pre-built UI that we have here into the bundle, regardless if we're using it or not. So that's one issue. There are ways to solve that. It's just uh, iterations, I guess, of improvements.
Yeah. It's the beginning.
But yeah, that's I'm gonna try and figure that out. Thank you for that.
No worries.
Yeah.
So, I was thinking we could. I would be curious about the login with Ethereum feature that we have on the Proto roadmap, and I'm curious as to the nature that Web3 is right now. Uh, is that like a thing that is in demand, and what's it like the because I feel like there was a time that Web3 was like the bars and people would wonder maybe a version of that. I want to know, like, is that a thing that we are looking at as priority, and the what's the feedback on that? I'm directing this question to I Can Live In, from your experience or from your what do you think?
Sorry, the feedback on what?
The login with Ethereum that we have, like login with Web3, is that something that you've needed or like you've wanted to use ever?
I mean, tree like the as in blockchain stuff. Yeah, login
Yeah,
with
the
Ethereum.
blockchain
Yeah,
stuff. Yes.
I didn't see that. Oh, honestly, so I mean, I never touched it. I think I tried it once ever in my life. Didn't get the point, abandoned it, and that's it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you and me both actually. I tried it once at one point. I really wasn't into it that much, so I sort of like, yeah.
Yeah, same. I
What
think
did
it's
you
more of just
try? What did you
it's
try?
just more intellectual
Okay.
curiosity of how it might work. Um,
Okay. I'm curious as to what you guys tried. Was it like trying to use it to build something, or trying to participate in the ecosystem, or the actual? I mean, I don't know. What exactly did you guys try out?
Well, okay, I suppose I can start. Back when like Bitcoin was a thing that you could do on Raspberry Pis, that was like a long time ago. Like back when it first like was sort of like a glint and a sparkle of this like small community of enthusiasts, I gave it a try. It was interesting for a bit, but then I needed sort of like a static file server, and I sort of like changed the miner I had on the Raspberry Pi, I switched it to a static server, and that was that. My second experience was like when my wife actually started getting into crypto stuff herself, and she was like very enthusiastic about the whole ecosystem and ideas, and but that went nowhere because like essentially she never could decide what kind of technology she wanted to get into. And my third try for that was when I wanted to try building a D app, like a decentralized app, I think on the Ethereum thing, just so
yeah.
that
Yeah.
it's sort of like this weird reason why I had to MC this event where there was a guy that was talking about dApps, and I was trying to understand what the hell a dApp is. I was trying to grasp the concept so I can sort of introduce the guy better. I sort of grasped partially, let's say, some of it, but not really. So, it's like I know only surface level stuff. I haven't had the need to truly understand it in depth. So, that's where I'm currently at with, Web3 stuff in general. It's like it doesn't really seem to me like a problem I'm going to have anytime soon.
Yeah, I think
Mm.
There's I think Advait had attended one of these RSA talks. There's like this company called Ping Identity. This spoken, not Ping Identity. Sorry, it was a different one. I don't remember which one, but it was talking about them pivoting to like a full decentralized auth uh, vision where people's data is controlled by them and not by like the auth provider or not by the app, and
Mm-hmm.
like you can transfer your data from one app to the other fairly easily. No, not transfer, but share. Sort of like how Google shares your data when you do login with Google, but like without the privacy issues involved with this. And it's a very grand vision, um, but who knows? I feel like people prefer convenience way over privacy in general, and as long as it's not convenient in the sense that like somebody not tech savvy at all can do these things very easily, it's probably not going to pick up, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
that much.
exactly. I mean, I like the idea of decentralization, but the thing is that we've
Yeah,
had distributed computing and decentralization way before Web3. Now we've had like peer-to-peer protocols and torrents, and like there's, I know, like just torrents are a great example. We've had like data sharing in a sense for a while now. It never got a computational layer on top, but there have been papers in the space that tried to pull that off. And like, Web3 went in a different direction, but like it never, in my opinion, never fully lived up to the promise of like having this fully decentralized thing. So last year, I have just last ranty story. I promise. Like, and just feel free to cut me off. Last year, I saw Tim Berners-Lee, like the creator of the web, basically,
Mm.
in a conference in Berlin, and he spoke about a new kind of web that was not really like your average Web3 idea, but it's no Web2 as well, in which like essentially all of your data will live encrypted on your storage, and the application via new application in your like applications via new data layers would be able to access the user's data that would essentially live on your local machine, thus avoiding abuse with data sharing leaks and stuff like that. But given the current state of the web and like general centralization, it's, to me, it feels like a pipe dream, and like I have very very deep respect for Tim Berners-Lee. So we'll see where this goes for real.
yeah. I feel like everybody wants decentralization, but nobody knows a way of actually achieving it. Like not
Exactly.
technically, but from a human point of view, getting people to actually adopt stuff like this, because nobody really cares enough. As if it happens, if it happens in the background, then I guess that's okay. But the thing is, yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of the things.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of the conversation around it has been like, uh, how do you even get people to use it? Is it something that should be user facing? Like, why not just make it happen in the back end and we don't know what's going on? Just like with a normal user doesn't know how the internet works. It just pops up, Google and types and things work. And now you're saying that people should manage addresses, manage seed phrases, do a lot of
Yeah,
that ownership.
yeah,
And we kind
yeah,
of lazy. I mean, it's a lot of work for the average
yeah.
person. Yeah.
I
Exactly.
mean, I mean, it's hard to get people to use
But
password managers, which is
Oh my
like
god.
supposed to be one of
yes.
the easier things to use because it's just like very well integrated into your browser and stuff. But this, like most people I know, do not even know what a password manager is. In fact, I'm talking about most people, like most non-tech people. They just like, yeah, they just don't know what password managers are,
Yeah.
which is very surprising, but they don't. Uh, so like, yeah, like barely anyone I know even uses TOTP. Honestly, uh, like regular consumers. I'm saying, not like tech folks or folks in banking and stuff, but just like you know, like your grandmother, for example,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For real. I mean, I couldn't make my dad
or
use
like a team.
passwords manager, so like,
Yeah,
it's
no, even like TOTP, right? Like authenticator apps. Like,
nah, it's like a layer of complexity they don't want to deal with. They like got used to
yeah,
having to remember passwords, and that's like
yeah,
already a jump enough. And now I have to use this
yeah,
other thing in addition to that, which is,
yeah,
don't make it
which
hard for
is
them.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's one of the struggles with getting people involved in doing things. It just doesn't happen most
Yeah.
of the time.
No, but like on a psychological level, like people don't really want to change set habits. Like it's sort of an investment to change a habit, and like it's no different for developers as well. I just learned like basically most of the stuff that makes me a functional web developer, right? And now you want to introduce an
Yeah.
entire Web3 layer on top, which has an entirely different API, and it makes me do all the work instead. Like the incentive is pretty low there for developers, let alone for like regular users, like
Yeah.
it's like on
But
paper I
is
don't
it's
dislike the idea,
it's
but like
what is decentralized? I mean, you know, all that struggle is decentralized. That should be the promised land, I guess. Like decentralization is what they're
sure,
selling. So
sure, of course, but like make it easy,
yeah.
don't make me work for it, make the developer
I mean,
experience easy for me. So
like the classic example is the internet is decentralized. Originally meant like everybody will have their own personal servers, you know, and like you'll have your own server where people can get information about you. But nobody really has their own server, do they? They just
yeah,
use Google or something else. Where so like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you know something is already there which is
And
decentralized, but still people make
then
it
I guess
centralized.
then I guess if I bring
Yeah,
up the conversation around Web 5, I guess is another field. Have you guys said about Web 5?
yeah, it's like
It's a
this
real thing. It's a real
no,
thing.
I know, it's this attempt at fusing Web 2 with Web 3. And I'm underlining attempt here. I
Aha.
like the enthusiasm of the people in the space, that's for sure. But frankly, I don't see the promise of what they're promising, like, you know, becoming real. You know, they're like a bunch of very good educators in that space. And I follow them on Twitter and stuff, and I really love their enthusiasm, but like, I don't see myself using their stuff. And most of the people I know personally sort of feel the same way, I guess. And I've had this discussion on this topic, and it's like it's not making my life easier, As if it makes my life easier while delivering the promise of a more decentralized thing, sure, why not?
yeah,
Yeah.
and it has to make your life far like 10x easier for you to even care about it. Not like 2x easier. That's
Exactly.
one of the challenges of. Oh, that's true though. That's true for any new technology. It has to have that to be adopted. Otherwise, it probably won't.
Learn. Yeah.
And like the thing you mentioned that the web is already decentralized, that in theory you can have a server at home, sure. But like I'm not sure whether you guys ever tried getting a static IP address on a residential network. That's an
That's
interesting conversation to have with the IT support people for sure. You're gonna have to fill
yeah.
out a whole bunch of forms and then like have a bunch of weird conversations, and in the end they're still going to say no, but like it's a whole red tape. And then like yeah, in theory you can have a server at home, but in order for that server to be public on the web, you have to do a whole bunch of weird stuff to make that thing. So like it's not worth it in the end, it's like just too much hassle.
Well, I mean, even if you have a server in AWS, right? That's still like your machine, and you can do that without anyone's permission. Um, Still, no one does it.
Exactly.
Um, like even if like okay, sure, it's technical, but even if someone makes like a nice UI and makes it like all GUI based and takes away all the which I'm sure like Webflow, for example, is a website builder. You can build your own website using GUI stuff, and you can host it and stuff, and you don't need to know how to code.
Yep.
Still, no one really like. Sure, it's a huge company and all, but like no individual uses it for their personal, which is kind of what like the internet was supposed. Like one of the things about the internet was supposed to be that, but yeah,
Yep.
like yeah, it just I don't think people care about decentralization as much.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, in theory they do, in practice not really. So
Yeah,
Mm.
IPFS.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, I've
I
used
know.
it.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool actually.
yeah.
That's actually probably
Um,
one of the cool use cases, I think, for the whole Web3 thing.
yeah, it's cool.
There is also the part where the other part where I also see value is the talk the the financial part of it, where you can transfer value across to
Yeah,
anybody, and it's just without having to do any form of like for filling out any forms, getting. I mean, right now you can
yeah,
just send money and that's it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we sort of did that for a hot minute. It was popular like a couple of years ago, really popular. But also there were like a whole load of scams and a whole load of like rug pulls and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard to build that
Yeah.
trust,
That's
nowadays.
like that's fine though. I mean, there's a lot of scams that happen with USD
True.
and like fiat currency. It doesn't mean that it's bad. Uh, I think it comes with it, comes with the technology. So
Yeah.
um,
Th-
I
There will
was
always be bad actors, I believe.
No, that's true.
yeah. So
What is
it's like that's probably the thing that people most care about. Like it's investing in it and getting a return, and that's probably the main reason why I think Bitcoin or anything like that even took off.
Mm-hmm.
Not for its applications, more for investing. In fact, like I just had a conversation with a friend like a few hours ago, and he's like totally, he's only into financial industry, not at all in tech. And he's asking me like, oh, what do you think is the next Ethereum or the next Bitcoin? And he just wanted it from an investment point of view, right? Not really from a technology point of view. Like he doesn't care like at all about the technology. He just cares
mm-hmm.
about from the investment, which is like I feel most people anyway. So um, yeah,
So
it's
the
kind of
And
sad.
also like I can is he's saying the first time I hear about it, is it different to a torrent? I think he's asking about Web3. Is Web3 different to what the torrent
IPFS.
used to do?
No, about the IPFS.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, IPFS. Okay.
It's conceptually different. Like where in the sense that in when you're trying to share a torrent or access a file, there are supposed to be seeds, at least one, right? And it's decentralized in that sense. IPFS works more like a distributed file system, like it sort of abstracts that entire thing out of the thing. So to my knowledge, that's it. Like essentially, it's a file system. There is a way to mount that thing actually as a fuse file system on Linux. I've tried it; it works. Like you can see it as a drive. It doesn't come with a size, but you can sort of mount it, and it in its behavior it's significantly more like a file system, whereas a torrent would be like this thing that you get in a torrent client and you can download it and like send it forward if you like, so it's conceptually different.
How is that conceptually different? That's very similar. Like in both cases, you're storing files in other people's computers and you're able to access it through like a client or a
uh
protocol. Uh,
IPFS in my understanding doesn't need like explicit seeds like the way torrent does. It sort of
well,
saves, yeah.
I mean, you kind of do, right? Because if your file is stored on somebody's computer and that's not available suddenly, then it's like you don't have seeds and therefore you can't access that file anymore.
That's true,
So,
yeah. So it comes
yeah.
down to it being more like a file system instead of like being.
Well, that's sort of like that's like an application built on top of the technology. I feel as opposed to, I guess the crux of both the ideas is that you're storing stuff on other people's machines. Um, Now, in one case, you're storing like it's not really exposed as a file system, but in the other case, it is. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like one can be adapted to become like the other. Uh, so I don't really know. Maybe there's like an economic part to IPFS which Torrent doesn't have,
I'm
but I'm not
actually
sure about
checking
that.
it right now for differences between the two.
Like the motivation for someone to have Torrent on their machine, I don't think there's any economic motivation
Mm-hmm.
uh, for people to like see torrents. Uh, Maybe the clients, like the clients that create the torrents do because they're distributing the clients, but uh, IPFS may have an economic incentive. I don't know.
So it has the following.
IPFS native. Okay, d'accord.
Yeah, go ahead, Joshua. It's fine.
Okay. What I understand about IPFS, I don't think natively there's any form of like incentive to it in terms of like money or something. But I
Yeah.
believe that it's um there's a way it can be adapted. There are like protocols that are built around IPFS. So there is a, I think, Filecoin. No, not Filecoin. There's a, I can't remember. It's been a while. And they are built on top of IPFS. So what they do is you can be part of the node, but this time that you are getting incentivized. So IPFS is the native thing. You can use IPFS on its own, but I think there are layers on top of it that do add that economic thing you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I guess.
so I'm having like a comparison done by GPT, and I'll fact check this after. But I did GPT because like this is actually efficient and faster than me opening a bunch of tabs. So like
Yeah.
it gave me a table, and I'm not sure if I can share my screen right now too. Let's see, where's my thing? Here it is. So yeah, this should be it. And you're probably seeing my screen now, right?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, okay, perfect. So it says BitTorrent efficient file distribution, IPFS creating a distributed permanent web. So okay, that's fine. Files are split into small pieces, and
Yeah.
files are split into blocks and arranged in a Merkle directed acyclical graph. Now, peers download pieces from multiple sources, and like this is not swarming based content is retrieved from any node storing the data. Okay, so it's not like really a network peer to peer. It's more like, hey, fetch these pieces from here, and here, which okay, it's fine. Then location based addressing, then content based addressing. Typically used for temporary file sharing and no permanent storage, which is true. It's a big deal. If a seed disappears, you won't be able to retrieve the file. That's it. But it says in IPFS aims for permanent storage of files. Files remain available as long as well. This essentially like read the same, like it's the same
Yeah,
thing?
it's the same thing. Just yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I fundamentally that's gonna be true, right?
Yeah, must file. There's file versioning, okay, but it comes down to how they're stored. These are stored in a cyclical graph, and like that's it. And maybe like
Yeah, these are just details of implementation differences, not really fundamental differences. I feel
yeah,
like they are pretty much on a fundamental level the same thing.
okay.
They can be marketed differently, they can be used differently, but I think, yeah,
So yeah,
uh,
like what Joshua shared in the chat, it says like Filecoin is storage designed for Web3. It uses IPFS as a building block to share all the benefits of content addressing, the verifiable cryptographic proofs, ensure the Filecoin storage. Okay, so basically it's like a tightly integrated torrent-like thing that's more meant for Web3, if I'm reading that right.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to stop sharing my screen then.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the end, you just
But I've
upload your
seen
files
Kite like
to. Sorry, go ahead.
no, no, please do. I'm listening.
I just wanted to say, in the end, you just upload your files to AWS bucket, and you just share the link, and that's it.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's
Okay,
still
so
easier than
I
either of
think
these.
it's easy, but you got to think about from IPFS. From what I've experienced of it, is right now I can host hundreds of megabytes of files without having to pay nothing. Like I can keep uploading, and they keep getting stored somewhere. I don't know where it is. I just get an IPFS thing. I'm not sure. I'm not. It's been a while, and I can access them whenever I need. But there's an issue if I don't access them for a certain period of time. Those nodes where they are stored, they can drop off the parts of the contents that they hold. But there's something now called Pinata that you can use to pin it. It's a whole ecosystem. But I can store as much things as I want, as many things as I want, without having to worry about the cost of the storage. That's one thing that makes IPFS cool.
Mm.
And it's been used because there are hundreds, thousands of nodes everywhere. I can keep storing. I can save up to hundreds of megabytes of data, and I don't care where they have been stored. I don't know how they've been stored. I just know that they are somewhere, but I need to
yeah,
access them with a time frame. If I don't access them, some parts of the data might be dropped off, and that's the issue. But there's a way around that. And so that's the other side about it that I feel like if you're using AWS, you get to a point where your free plan can't cover it anymore. You need to pay or something. That is one of the thing about the IPFS thing that makes it cool. But there's the
Yeah,
other layer where it's there's a technical learning curve to it that you need to kind of figure out. And I've seen quite I was about to say something other thing where about like the login. I've seen quite a number of website use login with Web3 and alongside having Google, alongside having, and most of the site have been Web3 related sites. I don't know if anybody has seen it where like a normal Web2 site would be using this, like login with MetaMask, login with something.
haven't really tried that. Nope.
Okay, but I know like some providers that not they're mostly Web3 guys anyways. I'm just trying to see what the crossover is for the normal things that we do. When would the need arise for like a say Facebook now to have like login with Ethereum or Twitter, say?
I'm not sure, can't say, but frankly, I'm not seeing that happen anytime soon. Because, like, you have to understand that having something like a decentralized web goes very much against the nature of Facebook's and Google's business and so forth. So, why would they integrate something that's deeply against their business? This is a philosophical question, of course, but like, their core business is like literally the centralization of data, and they make money out of that data. So, why would they allow decentralization on their platform? You know?
Yeah, they probably won't.
But Facebook was working on a crypto something some while back. I think they call it Libra coin or something, and then they were working on something like that. So you
I don't
see,
think so. Now they're focused on AI, just open source AI. That's what the thing is now. Uh,
Yeah, Facebook
yes,
for
AI,
PR's sake,
AI,
Facebook for
yes.
PR's sake can be into a lot of things for a while, and then they're not. It's been like that for a while, and like we all do
yeah.
PR stuff. It's fine, and like it's AI now, sure,
Yeah,
but if there's like a next
they,
big thing,
but like they do PR stuff at the scale of like tens of billions of dollars of spending to do that thing. Yeah,
but they can
which
afford
is
that,
I
so you
mean, they
know it's
can.
fine.
yeah, but
Exactly.
you know,
If I think it's just more about the race that they all have. There's a race. So once they discover that there's something, they just need to start it. They might not know where it ended, but they just don't want to be the person left out. They want to be part of the discovery, part of the thing. Okay, AI came out, Microsoft jumped in, Facebook is cooking open source models, and everybody just wanted to, okay, we are in this thing now too. Something new comes out. When did you know the discussion about the metaverse some while back? Everybody jumped on. Nobody knew where it was going, but they just don't want to be the one that will be left out to be like, oh, we got in late. They want to either be ahead or just be part of the story or just, I
That's
mean,
true.
maybe lead the industry.
That's true, but it's
So
there's still like
I'm very sure there are people. I'm listening. I'm listening.
yeah, that's true, but that's still like due to the pressure from either investors, from the market, whoever. Like, if like AI is the hot thing now, everybody does something with AI, even if they don't really need it. So like, it's part of the whole investment PR cycle, and like, don't read too much into it. If like the next big thing like comes right around the corner, like AI 2.0, whatever, everybody's gonna jump on that next. So like, it's
yeah, but like I think with AI, the main difference between AI versus metaverse versus like crypto is that AI seems to have a lot of real life applications which are actually useful and being used now,
yep,
unlike the other two. So I don't think it's one of those, temporary things. I think it's probably is here to stay
yeah.
and grow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. I mean, I'm using literally, quite literally, nothing crypto related day to day, but I'm using a whole load of LLMs for a whole bunch of different things. So, yeah, agreed.
Authenticate with AI,
Uh,
to prove your identity. Yeah, I actually thought about that, uh, and how that
yeah.
might work, but I don't really have any good good answer to it. Um, and I've even researched about it. I don't think anyone has a good answer to it, other than there's this thing called WorldCoin. I don't know if you heard about it, but it's this again. It's one of these things which Sam Altman invested into or started. I don't know either one. But like you have to prove you're a human based on your iris scan, um, and your so you essentially this is also how it ties into crypto, funnily enough. But you basically get your iris scanned through this device, which computes hash of your iris and creates a public private key or something like that out of it, and then your your public key is sort of sent to something the WorldCoin server or something, and then your private key stays in your device, and then you basically authenticate with two websites using your private key, um, using something that's signed with the private key and then verified using with the public key, and um, and your iris sort of is what it's based on. So because your iris is based on your iris, you can't just like spoof it and then stuff like that, and because in order to get that you need to actually scan something physically. So like they have deployed people around the world that carry these orbs that actually physically scan your virus and verify that you're actually a human being. um, but again, I don't know how much this is going to pick up. um, but it would be interesting, like
That's interesting. I'm just hearing this.
once we once
Is
we
there like
have
a link
these,
you can share? What do I search for?
just search for WorldCoin, and
Oh,
though yeah,
WorldCoin.
the, the the problem of like AI logging in isn't really happening at the moment. It might happen soon enough, but I think until it happens, no one's going to really do much about it. And when it does happen, then it's going to be like a race to solve that, at least for authentication providers.
Yeah, so like authentication would come down to, once we have an AI problem, to like basically your a physical expression of who you are, and maybe just digitalized, so that you can sort of verify that it's actually you that's trying to do whatever.
Yeah.
Interesting and scary at the same time.
And then maybe you'd also have like a separate thing for AI login, specifically for AI. So you'd allow AI to log in, but like identify them as AI, and then in your application you treat them as AI, not as users somehow, depending on your application logic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that would be cool as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I was hearing Mark Zuckerberg talk about, like, in a recent interview where he's like, soon enough, most of the content you consume on Instagram will be AI generated, not even people generated. Like first it'll be people generated but assisted through AI, and then it'll just be AI generated. And I create content on the fly. Basically, I was just scrolling and get like new content created on the fly based on what you like. And then eventually there'll be like more LLMs than there are human beings on Earth, which is also pretty cool. Like more agents, more LLM
Mm-hmm.
agents than there are human beings.
Sure. I mean, having like a specialized agent for each of your personal needs would probably make a
Yeah,
lot sense.
everyone will have a bunch of them working for them in some way or the other. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, sure, like it's most of when I'm scrolling through Instagram, and I'm not scrolling a lot, but when I do, it's like doesn't seem like this whole lot of like high quality content. Like most of it's repetitive, it's automated, and like
Yeah,
even nowadays it's sort of a struggle to find something really interesting and unique, I guess, because everybody
yeah.
remixes ideas and whatever. So maybe having some LLMs involved there and generative AI wouldn't be such a bad idea after all.
Well, yeah. Anyway, I think I gotta go now. It's
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we can wrap it up.
Cool.
Koha probably dropped his net, so yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should figure out better ways of announcing events.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
for sure. Oh, there he is.
Uh, yeah. But all right. It was a good chat anyway.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was good. We'll post this on YouTube after we're done. So yeah, thank you for doing this. It's been fun.
Yeah. Thank you. And yeah, you too. It was good to hear from you. Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye, everybody. Thank you
Bye.
so much.